everybody, what is going on? It's me, the Theeliteace. We are live action. You already know what it is. Let me start off by saying Happy New Year. I hope you all had a safe and positive New Year. For some of you, 2023 was a bad year. For others, it was a great year. But for the ones who had a bad 2023, guess what? You survived. Always remember, tough times never last, but tough people do. And if you made some mistakes, that's okay. Just don't make those same mistakes twice. Use that knowledge and carry it over into 2024 because, of course, yes, it is about becoming the best version of yourself because you grow through what you go through. So, yeah, I don't want to turn this to a deep real-world topic, my New Year's, I spent it at a barcade, which is rare for me, which is rare. It would be a whole nother story because normally I meditate into the new year. I mean, you can meditate anytime, but with this barcade with a couple of associates, and yeah, it was pretty interesting. They had so many classic arcades. It was in my home city, Detroit, and man, they had the Crazy Taxi, Time Crisis, the Turtles in Time arcade, the Ninja Turtles. The Simpsons Streets of Rage beat 'em up. They had the Star Wars arcade, the Godzilla pinball machine, Marvel vs. Capcom, Gunblade, RoboCop, just the Die Hard beat 'em up game. All the classic retro arcades, and they had some new arcades I've never seen before. So I thought that was pretty smooth. Anyway, enough of that. I am here to talk about the best movie of 2023 and one of my all-time favorite movies, Godzilla Minus One. I'm going to talk about my experience seeing the movie, as well as my thoughts on the movie, of course, and something I want to address with the American Godzilla fans. Maybe some over in Europe as well, but I don't know. There's something that I've seen a lot of in Minus One that American Godzilla fans complain about in the American Godzilla movies. It's sort of like, so you complain about this, but a lot of this was in that, and you didn't say nothing. But I'm gonna address that anyway. My experience seeing this movie, it's just still unbelievable. So in my last video, of course, the update channel. If you haven't seen, I'm just going to say yes. I went to Japan, and when I went to Japan, yes, I'm working on the vlog. Come on now, I took pictures and footage. I'm doing a video right now. So the actual movie experience, I seen it in 4DX IMAX. I went to the Toho Cinema, Godzilla Boulevard, Godzilla Street, whatever it's called. I believe I was in Shinjuku, and I could see the Godzilla Hotel, where Godzilla's head and arm is peeking over, and it plays the classic Godzilla theme, and you see the breath come out, and you hear his iconic classic roar. Oh my God, it was crazy. It was crazy. For the ones who don't know what 4DX is, yes, it's like the ultimate experience. Who is this texting me? Oh, it's the ultimate experience in the beginning of the movie. For the ones who've seen the movie, there's gonna be spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie by now, come on now. They've actually extended it. The feedback and the popularity of this movie has been doing very, very well. It's been breaking records and everything. So they extended the movie. I literally checked. It's still available. Well, at least in my state, it's still available in theaters. So anyway, in the beginning, when the soldiers were shooting at Godzilla, the lights, like the muzzle flashes, like the lights were actually lighting up in the theater. When Godzilla was in the water, you can feel the water. When a boat moved, it just wouldn't shake. It would actually, move, and just, you could smell the smoke, see the smoke. When Godzilla fired his atomic breath, the light, everything was just shaking. Everything. I had my food. It was just, I was in awe. I was in awe. Oh, you better believe I had some snacks and vittles. I'm gonna put some of the footage from the Japanese vlog into this video, only the Godzilla stuff. And I actually seen like a promotional Godzilla Minus One cup you can have. So when I went to get it, I thought it was weird because I have it right here. She just handed me this right here, right? And I believe you open it up and put it around your drink. I'm like, I said, nah, forget it. I kept it like this. So when you put it around your drink, you put this on top of it, the actual Godzilla head. So let's open this up, because as you can see, it's from the plastic. And the way so here it is right here. So the straw goes in right there. And I guess you put this, it fits on top, you just drink from it or whatnot. But yeah, I have this, had my food and vittles, went to the vending machine, And got this like little capsule machines and what else? Had some other Godzilla merchandise I'm gonna get into a little bit later. But yeah, that experience, it was just jaw dropping. I'm telling you, I'm not over exaggerating. It felt so surreal. Like I was thinking, like I can't believe this is happening. Like I'm in Japan, watching a Godzilla movie in 4DX. It felt like a dream come true. My adrenaline was rushing. Literally, it felt surreal. I'm like, I just can't believe this is happening. This is coming from a big Godzilla fan. So I went into the movie with high expectations. I did. More expectations than the MonsterVerse movies and everything. And I like those movies, but come on now. This is a straight up Toho Godzilla movie. So to me, the Godzilla movie, it was a 10 out of 10. Minus one. 10 out of 10. I'm not over exaggerating because there was nothing in there that I didn't like. I left out the movie satisfied. As a matter of fact, when I came back to America, because I did not want to leave Japan, so I had to come back. I seen it again. And this is how much I really want to see it. Excuse me. When I seen it in Japan, there was no subtitles. Yes. You can see it in subtitles now, but at the time when I went, yeah, there were no subtitles. So everything was raw. I had to just speculate and guess, like, oh, he's saying that. Okay, she meant that. Or his face expressed, okay, divided by 3, carried to 6. I just had to do all those type of things. So, yeah, so anyway, any little thing that I didn't like, it will be considered as a nitpick. And a nitpick so small is not even worth taking a point away. Thus why I still give this movie a 10 out of 10. Pacing was good. Acting was good. I like the visual effects. I get it. The visual effects didn't look as good as a lot of the Hollywood blockbuster movies or some of the CGI in MonsterVerse. And I'm not saying that CGI is perfect, but I get it. That's just normally how it is with the Japanese movies and the American movies. But the story, we all know the story. I was pleasantly surprised and pleased with the story because I didn't know how much human interaction or human drama they were going to have, compared to how much they were going to show Godzilla, because Godzilla is the only threat in this movie. So it's not like it can be spread across. Like with King of the Monsters, we got some screen time with Mothra, then Rodan, then Ghidorah, then Godzilla, then they all came together to fight at the end. That wasn't the case in this movie. It was just Godzilla. But in the beginning, I like how they really showed, before Godzilla was known as the Godzilla that we know. Even though, yes, they did say the locals near the island called him Godzilla. So right there, his name was already established. I like that. Because, yes, he was in like his Godzilla Saurus stage, as I like to call it. And from what I read, there's a novel out that goes deeper into the -1 movie. I think there was a nearby village, I believe, that had like a symbiotic nature or relationship with Godzilla before he got, mutated, and they would feed him fish or whatnot. But I was not expecting Godzilla. When he showed up on the island, I was thinking, he looks a little bit different and smaller. And I just put 2 and 2 together. I was like, this is before he gets mutated. And this Godzilla, I gotta tell you, this was the angriest and most intimidating, and some would say scariest Godzilla has ever been. Some would disagree, some would say the original Godzilla, but just for the sake of it, I'll say this Godzilla. Because it was the fact that it was in the time period, World War II, near the end of the war, Tokyo is just all jacked up, and they don't have much to fight against Godzilla. Not only that, it's near the end of the war, they're crippled, so, in terms of their power to fight Godzilla, they don't know what to do. So I feel for him. Anytime there's a series where a main character is just a straight up human, he doesn't have no powers, no nothing, you fear for him more because it's more believable and it's more relatable. So when Godzilla walks up on an island, when he starts shooting people, after, of course, they started shooting at him, one guy got too scared and started shooting at him, and God, it just messed up everything. Godzilla, he was just biting people. Now I noticed, correct me if I'm wrong though, he didn't chew them up and swallow them. Now, he just bit them and tossed them, because I don't think Toho will make Godzilla go that dark. Even though this was a dark Godzilla, they didn't make him go that dark. But the fact of the matter is, he was intentionally killing people. Yes, we've seen Godzilla intentionally kill people before. Yeah, he destroyed buildings. We know, people were inside those buildings, they died, or the debris fell on those people, they died, or he blew his atomic breath, killed those people. But now we really see it chomp down. Tail smashes. He's stepping on people. Now we actually get to see it. Oh, when he stepped on people, oh man, you felt it. Everything. You felt it. The wind, everything. But man, the main character, this kamikaze pilot, I really like this character. I like the actor, the acting, everything. It's just, man, you just got to give it to the acting, man. Like when I seen it, I didn't know what they were saying, but it just looked believable. It worked. I mean, even though I didn't know what to say, if that makes sense. But what I thought was crazy, when I actually seen it in sub and see what they were saying, I'm like, okay, some of this I was right and some of it I was way off. Because he runs into a girl and she's caring for a baby. You know, they basically not become a couple, but they, you know, help each other out. They get a place and, you know, and they take care of this baby. And I'm thinking, like, man, that's some unity, I guess, like that, because that's crazy. Like, he doesn't owe her anything, vice versa. But I get it. End of the war, everyone's mad, sad, depressed. They need to help each other, stick together. I get it. But also, he becomes a minesweeper, and this was the one time when I actually really seen how Godzilla was just very intimidating, man. When Godzilla popped up out that water, normally you would see these dead sea life just floating in the water. Oh, the crew of that boat. Let me talk about the crew. The scientist, he was cool. He was one of my favorite characters. You had the scientist. I believe you had one other guy and two other guys on a boat. But the kamikaze pilot, man, he was real good with that man turret. I think a 50 cal might be. It's probably not a 50 cal. I'm probably getting it wrong. But how he was able to, bam, hit the mines like that, man. He had the better aim than all of them. But I'm like, okay, this is a good team, a good crew, everything is solid. But at some point in the movie, when Godzilla returned after, of course, he got hit by the nuke, and they showed it too. They showed the nuclear testing, and you seen his skin just forming and clotting. You can hear the muffle. Oh, and his roar. This was the sweetest Godzilla roar ever. If this is the best Godzilla roar, I would say this is in my top 5. It is in my top 5 Godzilla roars. But when he showed up out that water, man, goodness, that I was like, damn. And when they blast the side of his mouth open, because of course the mouth was coming, the line came in there. They went to detonate it. The wire was all messed up and cut or destroyed. Shot it, boom, and you see the instant regeneration. But when Godzilla went to attack that battleship, and it just, oh man. That roar when he shot the atomic breath. First, it was just like just straight up destroyed it, and that's when the main character really knew, like, yep, we're fucked. Like, yeah, it's just over. Not only did he get bigger, no, he's still alive. He got bigger, and he can shoot an atomic breath now. But my favorite part out of the whole movie, out of the whole entire movie, was when Godzilla actually showed up on land. And throughout the movie, there's time skip, you know. Again, good music, good visuals, good pacing, in my opinion. You actually felt for the characters. I'm not even saying necessarily you can relate to them, but you can feel for them. They were likable characters and believable characters. I did appreciate that about the cast and the acting. But when Godzilla showed up on the land, oh man, the one part that killed me, that news crew at the top of the building, just filming Godzilla, he's just destroying everything they're filming. They get all taken out. But when the tanks came and started shooting at Godzilla, that's when Godzilla like, okay, all right, watch this. And the dorsal fin started. He started charging up the classic. Vroom, 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 vroom. Because see, I only watched one trailer of Godzilla -1. I see now they showed that in one of the other trailers, but no. So this was my first time actually seeing Godzilla do the atomic breath. And the music, when he started charging up, I love the way the camera was panning from left to right. You see everyone looking up, just scared and with awe on their face. I love that whole scene and shot. I really felt it. Just put yourself in my shoes. Imagine seeing that moment in 4DX IMAX in Japan. I'm just sitting there, I'm looking like the people on the ground, just I'm like, oh my, and half the time I got a big cheese on my face, like a big kid. I know the Japanese people was like, who is this American motivator just smiling and cheesing with all of this? But when he shot that atomic breath, I don't care. This was one of the most impressive moments ever of Godzilla shooting that atomic breath. Now, you still got to give it to legendary Godzilla in Godzilla vs. Kong. His atomic breath went to the center of the earth. That got to be in your top 5 at least. But this -1 Godzilla, it was a damn nuke. It was basically just a nuke. And not only that, the visual effects afterwards. Once you see just a mushroom cloud blotted out the sun, debris coming down, and it started raining, and the main character, of course, he got saved. And it looked like his friend actually died. I thought she died. At one point, I was like, damn, that's messed up. But I like that because it brings more of a realistic, darker impact on the story and the writing. Even though she lived, that's still cool, but I was like, damn. It pushed him to want to take out Godzilla even more. And Godzilla, this Godzilla was just a villain, man. It was raining down on him. He was just looking up at Godzilla screaming. This Godzilla did not care at all. I love this version of Godzilla. So they came up with the plan to take down Godzilla. Of course, sink him to the bottom of the ocean, have the pressure, crush him. And man, they were going through a lot to get this plan to work. And it looked like it was working. They were distracting. Oh, and Godzilla, of course, he wasn't moving real fast or anything. He was the classic, that type of Godzilla. And they were lucky that he took the bait. By he, Godzilla. And the bait, him being in that plane, and Godzilla went to follow him out into the water. That was just hit or miss. They didn't know for sure if that was going to work, but it did. And the way they had the boat circling Godzilla, everything just worked. But near the end, when it seemed like Godzilla, of course, that basically the whole plan didn't work. So Godzilla went to charge with the breath, take out the fleet, and that's when we see the main character comes in this plane. Remember, he's a kamikaze pilot, so he was doing what he was trying to do. So bam, flew right into Godzilla's mouth. Bam, took out Godzilla. It caused like a atomic reaction, I guess, and it just destroyed Godzilla's body. He just fell apart. Now, the first time I seen it, I'm like, damn, he died. Both main characters died. I was like, man, this is like the darkest Godzilla movie. Like, man. But of course he lived. But because these main characters live, that doesn't take away the fact that this is a dark Godzilla movie, if not one of the darkest. And the thing about it is that when you see a movie for the first time, you're just taking everything in. You're actually missing a lot of stuff, most of us. So when I seen it a second time, if you go back and watch it, when he crashed into Godzilla's mouth, you actually seen him eject. Because the first time I seen it, they actually showed how he lived, He was talking to the one guy. He told him, look, this is that lever. Pull it to eject. And that's what he did. So, and man, they still showed the respect. They saluted Godzilla, Maybe they were saluting Godzilla. Yeah, I think they were saluting Godzilla or the main character. Because they spotted the main character on the parachute. Maybe they were saluting him. Or either way, they were all saluting. They knew what time it was. And at the end of the movie, of course, we see the woman that he was growing together with. She actually had the radiation damage. It looked like a radiation poison, whatever you want to call it. It looked like a actual dorsal fin pattern growing on her neck. So yes, there is going to be a potential sequel. Not anytime soon. Not anytime soon. So maybe she would probably die from that, or she'd be very ill or mutated. I don't know, but I like that added believability because it was something similar to that in Shin Godzilla. How they couldn't get near the end, of course. We see, of course, the chunks of Godzilla floating down to the ocean, and it starts moving, pulsating, and regenerating from that. And then it goes off. I was like, yes, yes, yes. Of course, the movie is way better than what I'm telling you. Again, a lot of you have probably already seen it. If you're watching this and you haven't seen it yet, I don't know, what are you waiting for? Go see it. See it 2 times, 3 times. I've seen it twice. May see it again tomorrow. I don't know. So, but it's worth seeing multiple times. I can't wait till it comes to Blu-ray special edition, whatever, because I'm going to add it to my collection. Another thing I noticed when I was in Japan watching this movie, I'm thinking if there's going to be after credit scenes. I don't know if after credit scenes are a big thing in Japan. So I'm waiting, just looking around a little bit, It's just dead silence, Music rolling, credits rolling. Just watching. Then right when it was geared to end, I'm like, okay. The lights just cut on, that was it. So I don't know if the rest of the audience was waiting on a after credit scene, or it's just part of the Japanese culture not to get up during credits because it'd be deemed as like disrespectful to not acknowledge the whole team or crews to work on the movie. I could kind of believe that, but either way, I enjoyed my time seeing that movie, man. It was just, man. And then afterwards, I went to the Godzilla shop. I had this. These had some Godzilla crunchy wafers inside of them. They were very, very good, as you can see. Oh yeah, and I got this Godzilla shirt from the Godzilla shop. It has Burning Godzilla on it, and right here, this is Burning Godzilla. And on the sides, let's see if I can see this. You have, God, who is that? Ghidorah, Mothra. Looks like Godzilla and Mechagodzilla 2. Yep. And we have Theeliteace, Space Godzilla, and Destroyer. Yep. So yeah, it was just some wafers inside of here. It's empty now. But also, I end up getting this Godzilla cloth right here, as you can see right there in the back, made in Japan. I may hang this right here or over the top of my TV in my other room. I have a Godzilla pin right here. You probably can't see this too well. It's Godzilla, and it is some fighter jets flying next to him. I don't know if you can see that. Also, I have these Godzilla magnets. It looks like it's Biollante. It's the cover, the Japanese covers. It looks like it is Biollante. Let's see this glare. Well, no, that doesn't work doing that. But yeah, you all can see it right there. Yep. Space Godzilla, Biollante, Mechagodzilla, Mothra, Ghidorah, Godzilla, and I bought some actual cards, right? -1 right here. I love that design. I believe that, inside of here it's like a Monsterverse thing. I got the opened it up when I was in Japan. It was a skull crawler. I wanted Godzilla, but whatever. And if you don't believe me, look at this. The actual Godzilla store bag right here. Yeah, motivators right there. I'm telling you. So, and not to mention the Godzilla -1 mug right there. I am going to unwrap and unravel all of this. Oh, and I also got this from the Godzilla, so it has tape on it. Basically, it is a model. I don't know if you can see it right there. A model miniature skeleton of Godzilla, which I always wanted something like that. So with that, all of this and that and my shirt, I had a good time. I spent a lot more in Japan than what I thought I was going to spend. But yeah, I'm going to unbox and unravel all of this when I'm doing my Japan video officially. So I'm going to wrap this video by talking about the one thing I noticed. So for the longest, I seen it on reviews, everything, comments from the Godzilla fans. People would always say, oh man, too much humans, too much talking, the human drama, we don't care, just give us a monster movie with nothing but the monsters, 90% monsters, 10% humans. This is the thing we all have to understand. I get it. I'd rather see the monsters on screen than the humans. I get it. But for the ones complaining about that, I find it funny that nobody said that with Godzilla -1. There was a good amount of dialogue in that movie, and I actually brought it up on all these Godzilla groups that I'm a part of, and only one person made up a good point. Everybody else was silent. No lie, they were silent when I brought up that point. No rebuttals, no counters, nothing. Until this one guy said something, and this is what it is, according to him. He said he agrees, but he thinks it's because that Hollywood, especially when it comes to the monster movies or these MonsterVerse movies, they do not know how to write or create humans that we care about, or just compelling humans, you know. And it makes it look at all the characters in the MonsterVerse versus the cast and the characters in Godzilla Minus One. I think also it's because it just feels more authentic. You know, you have a Godzilla movie that takes place in Japan, Japanese actors, Japanese characters. It just feels more authentic. But not to say Skull Island was bad. Skull Island was pretty decent. Samuel Jackson, one of my favorite actors, you know, it was good. The characters were pretty entertaining in that movie. But to have a monster movie with barely any humans in it, it's just gonna seem like a National Geographic movie. Now, yes, I get it. That would seem cool. I do understand with Godzilla versus Kong, from an article I read, that there is going to be a good amount of monster scenes in there. Some up to 8 minutes long. Some with no humans at all. We're not going to be lost. There's not going to be a narrator, because I'm thinking that takes some kind of skill. There's not going to be a narrator, no talking. We're just going to see these animals at times not even fighting. I guess they're going to make noises, clicks, facial expressions. I mean, I guess it won't be that hard to follow. But also, to the Godzilla fans, go back and watch all those old Godzilla movies and see how much human talking and interaction it is. Go watch every Godzilla movie, or even your favorite Godzilla. Mechagodzilla, Godzilla vs. Destroyer, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2 and 3, Biollante, Space Godzilla, Batra, you know, Monster Zero, Tokyo SOS, you know, the Smog Monsters. Watch them all, you know. Destroy All Monsters. And watch how much you will see more humans on that screen than monster fights. If you were to time it and clock it, okay, human scene, okay, go. You know. All right. And then if you just add up all that time, it's the same thing. So for the fans in America mainly complaining about, oh, these Godzilla MonsterVerse movies are just too much, it's boring, too many humans. You didn't hear none of those complaints with the Japanese Godzilla movies. I noticed that. But again, I guess to each his own. In terms of the MonsterVerse, I do have my small nitpicks with the MonsterVerse. The Monarch series, I've heard mixed things about it. I heard it's boring. I heard it's slow. I heard it's pretty entertaining if you care about the characters. But again, that goes back to the whole, we don't care about the humans at all. You know, so I may check it out. But I am going into it with just a clear mind. I'm not going into a hype. I'm not going to go into it disappointed, because I understand this is a prequel. Some of these characters are probably dead, or they're going to retire. Whatever the hell is going to happen to these characters near the end of the whole series. I think it's at season 1, but whatever. But yeah, again, I just noticed that. So that about wraps up this video, Elites. If you made it this far, let me know down below. Thank you for watching. I wanted to make this video shorter, but with this Godzilla, man, I can just go on and on. But yeah, so overall, 10 out of 10 movie. If you haven't seen it right now. Let me know what you think down below. Do you think that, Godzilla Minus One had too much human talking or interaction, or was it just a perfect balance? So with that being said, please go see this movie again. Support it. I'm so glad I was able to see this movie. It is worth seeing. Give me your thoughts, comments, and concerns. Thank you all for watching. It's me, Theeliteace, signing out.